Hello my tarnished friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of my favorite weapons thus far in Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, the Backhand Blade. Just to be clear, this is a level 170 new game plus build. This weapon is a dex machine, but for this build we are going for bleed or blood loss build-up, and therefore this is an arcane build. We will need 10 points into strength and 13 into dex in order to wield this weapon, and to infuse the bleed buildup on this weapon, we will have to add the blood loss affinity from the black wet blade, with blood loss scaling with the arcane stat. The Backhand Blade has the Blind Spot Ash of War, a fun dashing skill that surprises enemies and bosses. You can dodge or evade enemy attacks whilst retaliating with your own attack, and you can control the direction of the dash for further surprise attacks. The weapon can be split into two, making the light attacks deadly and causing quick bleed burst for massive damage. The heavy attacks are also fun, causing posture breaks on most normal enemies such as Messmer's soldiers and opening up opportunities for critical hits as can be seen here. It's very easy to get this weapon. From the Gravesite plain site of Grace, head northwest of the Scorched Ruins until you reach a small mausoleum full of horns and inquisitors. Talismans for this build include the Shard of Alexander for 15% boost to the blind spot skill, the Rotten Winged Insignia which greatly raises attack power of successive attacks, Lord of Blood's Exaltation which boosts attack power by 20% for 20 seconds once blood loss occurs nearby, and lastly the Lacerating Cross Tree Talisman which enhances dash attacks by 15%. To get the Lacerating Cross Tree Talisman, you will have to assist Needle Knight Lita to kill the Hornson NPC in Shadowkeep during the Followers of Miquella questlines. Once you help her kill the Hornson, return to the High Road Cross site of Grace and Lita will hand this talisman to you as your reward. For buffs, we have the two mixtures in the Flask of Wondrous Physic that is the Thorny Cracked Tear which raises attack power with successive attacks, as well as the Blood-Sucking Cracked Tear which increases attack power but drains health over time. The HP drain can be alleviated by the Bestial Vitality Incantation, which is part of this build. To get the Blood-Sucking Cracked Tear, you will have to kill the Fire Golem located in the Ruins of Ante, southeast of the Shadowkeep. Then we have the Blood Boil Aromatic, which is a body buff that raises physical damage by 30%, but reduces damage negation by 25%. I would say the trade-off is worth it, since this is an offensive build. Finally, we have the Golden Vow Tool, a craftable item found only in the DLC. With this version of Golden Vow, you get 12.5% boost to attack power and 8.8% in damage negation and occupies a sweet spot that is slightly less potent when compared to the incantation version, but is more powerful in comparison to the skill version. To craft this tool, you will need to grab the Battlefield Priest's Cookbook 3, which you can find in a tent belonging to Messmer's troops in Shadow Altus, as can be seen here, and the crafting materials are the Blessed Bone Shard and the Shadow Sunflower. You can farm the Blessed Bone Shard from Messmer's soldiers and his Black Knights scattered around Shadow Altus. You can also farm the Shadow Sunflower, and the best farming spot I recommend is the Hinterland Bridge site of Grace. The flowers will keep respawning after you pick them up and reload the game. Note that respawning will only be possible after you kill the Shadowtree avatar. When it comes to armor, we have the White Mask Helm which raises attack power by 10% for 20 seconds once blood loss occurs nearby. Then we have Lita's Armor which strengthens attacks by 10% after a dash attack. Then we have Rakshasa Gauntlets as well as Rakshasa Reeves, each boosting attacks by 2% respectively. To have a smooth ride in the DLC, we need a proper allocation of stats. I put 60 points into Vigor to improve survivability, 25 points into Mind or FP so we can utilize the Blind Spot skill as often as we can, 25 in Endurance so we can medium roll plus the Blind Spot skill alongside the weapons attacks utilize a ton of stamina, 12 points into Faith so we can cast the Bestial Vitality incantation, and 80 points into Arcane which gives us a decent attack rating with a whopping 115 blood loss buildup. Well, there you have it guys, please enjoy some boss fights just to demonstrate how the Backhand Blade shreds bosses.